Welcome back to another video. My name is Warren Stratton. I'm a professional occultist. I go by many different things, but this video isn't really necessarily just about me. My videos, I teach individuals and I train individuals how to look at their life and how to make their decisions, how to do what is necessary. And I mean, in my classes, I definitely teach more about different ways that you can do it. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about respect in the occult. The occult outlook on it, anyways, for life in general. I feel like respect is a very important thing. It comes down to many different things, from how you do something to how you say it, how you move, how you just think about things. It comes with self-respect. That's really what it is. I would say if I had to make my own definition for magic, it would be to learning yourself and to better maneuver in the existence that you're in, to better grow and to efficiently exist within the realm that you exist in, and the other realms that you're still existing in. Even if you're not within it, you're still existing. So with that being said, I'm just wanting to talk about respect, and I mean, I will go into other subjects, but without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump into it. Let me give you a little backstory about me when it comes to respect. I used to be very, I wouldn't say soft, but when I was younger, I used to be cautious. More cautious when it comes to talking, and I was kind of worried because I didn't want to harm someone unnecessarily. I didn't want to say or do something that would have negative consequences for me. And this is before I was even into magic like I am. And as I've grown, as I've worked with entities, and I've been through many more things, I will say I have changed exponentially. If someone says something to me, I'm not gonna just sit there and take it and just be like, you're right. Like, if there's certain things that I need to do, I will do it. But in the grand scheme of things, if someone calls me a name or something like that, I'm not gonna fight or I'm not gonna argue, because I don't like arguing. I'll simply, for example, look at them and be like, do you really think this is something that would faze me? Or do you really think that this is something that is worth my time? Because I mean, I can simply just ignore these things that people say and take energy from them. And a lot of times I do. But at the same time, I don't want people thinking that they can disrespect me, right? I don't want people believing that they can simply run over me. A lot of these entities I work with, all of these entities I work with, matter of fact, if you respect them, sometimes, they will ignore, and they will pretend because you aren't worth their time. If you disrespect them, they're just like, I actually have a life that I can do. I can live. I don't need to waste my time on this individual. But at the same time, it's like sometimes, depending on what you say or do or what, these entities will be like, let's have fun, or let me teach you a lesson. Um, and that goes for other entities too, because sometimes entities sometimes would disrespect each other, and they would have a full-out fight. They'll have a full-on um, intervention between themselves, with one of them being a victor. And that's the same thing for humans, right? If you let someone say something about you, say if someone is trying to lie about you, or someone's disrespecting you because they simply don't have respect for you, or they're not showing respect for you, it's like they need to prove what they believe if they want you to believe it. Because the thing is you don't have to believe anything, and someone else doesn't have to want you to believe it. But the thing is you don't owe anyone an explanation on why you don't believe something or why you believe anything. You don't owe anything to anyone. Number one. Number two, if you are being disrespected, that is wasting your time. So the best thing to do in your case would simply be analyze the situation and be like, okay, what would make more sense? For me, if someone disrespects me and they constantly try to, it seems like they're egging you on or disrespecting in many different ways, I wouldn't just sit there and be quiet, sit there and be very submissive. I would be like, no, you know, um, and I mean, there are certain things that I do that doesn't come off as powerful to certain individuals when it comes to the way I am, but once you think about it, certain things that others don't think is powerful is very powerful. Like, for example, if you have a challenge and instead of instantly analyzing it like I tend to do a lot of the times, sometimes if you have the challenge here and then you just like release it, a lot of people think that that's not power. But in fact, the ability to release it is powerful. Forgiving is another power for sure. But for example, if someone keeps disrespecting you, you don't you don't have to forgive them. You don't have to. I feel like forgiving can grant you power, but at the same time, if you forgive at the wrong times or forgive the wrong individuals, it can kind of like take power from you. But if you want to change or if you want to grow and you want me to see it, for example, I I would just let it go, right? I would just release it and be yourself and prove to me that you are who you say you are. Not trying to show me examples on purpose, but simply by your day-to-day actions or by the way you speak to me or by the way you are. I would simply say, just prove to me you are who you are by being who you are. Let me go ahead and turn this light on. There you go. So that's something for me. Like for example, the reason why I'm in my car right now isn't just because I'm like, hey, let me chill here, because sometimes I love chilling out here, but it is simply because I felt as if I'm being kind of looked over by certain individuals, and I feel like I'm being kind of like almost put down in a way. And if someone's going to mistreat me, I'm not going to show affection or show companionship with them, right? I'm gonna be like, no, let me spend time by myself. It just depends, because I mean every situation calls for different scenarios. In some situations I would say could call for similar situations, but it all just depends on the situation itself.
Now, I will say, this choice, for example, of sitting in the vehicle as I was describing, isn't something that I felt like I had to do, but it allowed me to do what I wanted to do, which was actually make a video because I wanted to make a video. So isolating myself is a form of growth. I would rather not isolate myself around the ones that I do care about, but in certain timing, whenever you are needing to do something and what you're doing is not being respected, or just certain things, right? You have full right and full range to do whatever you want. So by me doing this allows me to do what I want and allows me to isolate myself in a productive way.
Um, so when I work with entities, how close I work with them, right? Because I work with entities, but you can work with them at different closeness or distances. So if I work with an entity, I'm gonna be close with them, right? I'm not gonna be like, I'm gonna keep you at a far, but I wanna work with you. It's like, no, I'm going to embrace myself, and I'm going to learn all I need to know to be able to work with this entity, right? So much so that I will take them within inside of me and make the necessity of changes to achieve what I want to achieve, and to fully unlock more and more of myself and grow and grow. So I'm not gonna just keep them out afar. I'm gonna be like, listen, this is who I am, and the proof is me. I am proof. I am proof of everything that I say and everything that I do. My blood is my proof. My word is my proof. My actions are my proof. I'm not gonna pretend to be or to act some way simply just to get something from an entity, right? Now there is certain scenarios that you could simply put on a different mask to achieve what you want to achieve, and I wouldn't do this with entities. I don't, at this moment, I don't really think so. All the ones I work with right now, I wouldn't do it with. If there's an entity that only wants to make others suffer, and then you can put on a mask and you can do things in a smart way, then possibly. But I simply, right now at least, I don't see me doing that. Um, I really don't. For me, it's more or less about respect. So if I put on a mask, it's gonna be to get something from something that doesn't respect me and that doesn't treat me right, right? Um, I might not know this entity. I might not know, um, but I would take time to do it as long as it makes sense, right? I wouldn't just do something to get something from someone that has done nothing, for example. But yet their taking doesn't even make sense. It's just kind of like they have fun with it and they don't want to grow from it. They're just parasites that don't do anything. You know what I'm saying? Even for themselves. So those I wouldn't have a level of respect for. Not even a level of respect. For me, it would just be like they're wasting time. They're wasting that body. They're wasting that existence for themselves and for everything around them. Um, so yeah, my big thing would just be make sure you're respected. I feel like a lot of individuals, as I said, let others run over them. And then whenever you stand up for yourself, people pretend like you're wrong or act like you should have done something different. I mean, you can analyze what they say and see if there's any truth to it, because I mean that's how we grow, right? We analyze and then we apply what is necessary to apply to ourselves and our realities and everything. But I wouldn't just change because someone doesn't believe in you, or stop what you're doing just because someone's hating on you, right? These individuals are like blockages that you need to get over. If they change, great. If they stop, great. But your opportunity to change is your priority. Your priority isn't to change someone else. If someone comes to me and asks me to teach them and they're willing to do what is necessary to grow, then it would be my right to change them if they ask for it. But I'm not wanting to change someone and take their free will away.
So basically, your priority is to change yourself and to grow. If someone has other opinions, you can always analyze them. It is important to analyze and to see if they apply. Don't automatically just say no. It is not true. But stay open-minded, but don't force your beliefs on others. Just like others shouldn't force their beliefs on you.
I can bestow upon them lessons that I know that they probably won't even get over. But the thing is there's a difference between putting someone through something that you know that they won't get over, for no reason, versus putting someone through something that they might not get over, but you're doing it because they're coming against you, a loved one, or something like that. Something like that, right? Because there's many different things that can happen. So, so yeah, I mean, the thing is that if someone respects you and they want you to teach them, like if they want me to teach them and they respect me, then I'll do it. But if they are pretending they want me to teach them and they don't respect me and they're just messing around, um, and this can happen in many different ways, right? They can be egotistical, only believing what they want to believe. Not saying this is the only individuals that will do it, but individuals that's religious will definitely end up doing this.
Again, for the individuals who did not hear or would not have catched on because they heard what I said and they automatically want to jump to assumptions, not all individuals will end up doing this, but the individuals that will tend to do this the most is individuals who's religious because they have a strict believing, like a belief system. But other individuals can do this too, but those are the ones that tend to do it the most.
Um, I came from I grew up in a household system that taught Christianity, and I don't agree with it. I feel like there are certain things that they do talk about for sure that I do believe in the truth, or that they do preach about truth in certain aspects, but a lot of it is control. A lot of it is, same thing with other religions. A lot of religions talk about other truthful things, but a lot of it is control. These religions are held as a way to control other individuals, to hold them to certain standards. I feel like we aren't born with a purpose. I feel like we create our purpose. I feel like there are certain entities who do have the ability to grant us purposes, but it's not their choice to say this is what you have to do. I feel like those entities are us, but at the same time, we have to grow because we want to. We shouldn't grow simply because an entity wants us to. We should grow because we are willing to do what is necessary to grow. There's entities that will try to scare you, that will try to be very haunting, that will look certain ways, that will be demonic in nature, that will be very parasitical. They want to scare you and sometimes even take your life to feed. A lot of people will fall victims of these. People's fallen victim to these entities today and right now. There's entities that, for all through time, even in other cultures throughout the world, right? There's different entities, but it is your choice and your right to grow And if you grow, you can outdo these entities, right? Like, for example, if I'm sitting here in my car, right, and I'm chilling, and there's an entity right here, I could choose to be scared or not scared. First choice. Second choice, I can choose what to do. I can simply let it be there and ignore it and be frightened. I could take care of it. Like, I could simply just be like, I am here. You want to communicate? Or I can simply just get rid of it and pretend that it's just out for negative. Because I would compare entities of all natures similar. So like demons or humans or any entity, any entity. I don't care who you are watching this. I will say the same thing to you. Any entity, they have personalities. So certain entities are selfish and they only care for themselves. Doesn't care if an entity wants it to do good. Like like say for example someone comes up to me and I know them and they're like, hey, I hope you're doing good. You know, certain entities won't care if you come up to them and you're like, hey, I'm here for you. They don't care. They just want to feed. They will harm anything around them. So those entities are definitely big on trauma, are big on feeding and doing things to take from you and to give them themselves. So I would just say simply choose to grow, and if situations come, just think about it, you know. If you want classes, I can tell you how to do these things. I can do many things for you, but only if you are serious. Um, with that being said, I really do feel like I can go into more and more in detail, but I don't want to stretch this video on longer than what is necessary. So yeah, my name is Warren. I am a professional occultist. I work with many entities. I work with myself, and I work on myself most importantly. And I work with many other humans, and I teach them. So, that being said, have a good one.